What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Wi-Fi Finance, where we cover all things finance. I'm your host, Roger, and in today's video, I wanted to switch things up a little bit and talk to you about what things I'm doing now to set myself up for 2023. So if you want to hear my story, successes, and flaws all in one, make sure to watch this video and to get ahead of the game. Just a side note, everything I'm about to say is my own experience. I'm in no way a financial consultant. I recommend if you do have questions or need guidance, please reach out to a professional. With that being said, before we get started, you know what to do. Smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Without further ado, let's get on into it. 2023 is only a few short weeks away, which means it's time for me to set up goals, follow them for 2 weeks, and then forget about them for the year. So, the first thing I do at the end of every year is review my spending. My bank and my credit card companies do an okay job at telling me categories in which I've spent my money, and I do keep track of all of my receipts, and I try to stick to my monthly budget, so I do have a pretty good understanding of what I'm spending my money on. The biggest thing I look at when I'm reviewing my budget is seeing if there's any unnecessary spending that is taking place that I don't need, such as a subscription that I forgot about, or maybe it's something I no longer use. Step 2. I always set my savings goal for the year. My goal is to become financially free and invest in my business. Therefore, I'm going to need to pay myself before I pay anything else. What that means is I'm going to set a plan that if for instance, I want to save $1,200 in 2023, that every paycheck I'm going to take out $50 and put it into my savings account before I spend anything else and really just pay myself first. Sticking to a savings plan is always super hard because it's usually a small reward that builds up over time. If you are more creative and need more of that creative outlook on it, you can always participate in a different savings challenge where you can print off different savings goals. And every time you save, like for instance, the $50, you get to color in a piece of the picture or one of the bubbles that has the $50 in it. So at the end of the year, you have a great colored in picture and extra money. So really, it's a win-win. My third step is to revisit my emergency fund. I can't stress this one enough. And if you watched any of my other videos, you know how important an emergency fund of $1,000 at least is. Now that I have that saved away, I next want to look and try to save 3 to 6 months of my income in that account. My emergency fund, I keep in a separate bank account than my normal money, so I almost forget about it. It's there until I really need it. It's super important to get to that 3 to 6 month mark because no one can predict the future. So if something happens at work or you have a mass layoff or something just crazy happens that you didn't see, you're at least covered for a couple of months to get back on your feet. One thing I had to keep telling myself is that this isn't going to happen overnight. I mean, it's 3 to 6 months of your income. It's going to take you a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 or 3 years to get to that point. But that's not the important part. The important part is it takes time and be consistent with it. The more we can save up front, the easier it's going to be in the future. Step 4 is the next thing I do is I revisit my retirement contribution. Before we get into that though, if you're still around and you made it this far in the video, comment down below BUMFUZZLE. That's BUMFUZZLE. It's also on the screen right now. It's just so I know how many people are actually listening all the way through. With that being said, retirement is important, and so is compound interest. This is my last step in my preparation for the new year, and it's last for a reason. While I want my retirement to come and be able to enjoy life, I know this can't happen if I don't do the steps beforehand. We need to track our spending, we need to have an emergency fund, and we need to set up a little nest egg and of a savings account. While I won't talk too much about about retirement in this video, do check out my next video where I will be talking about how much money the average person has in their retirement and how much you should have saved for retirement, because those two numbers are a little different. But one thing I always do is look at my current spending and see if I can increase my retirement percentage. And remember, the more I can invest now, the more I will have in the future, and that's because of compound interest. Well, that's all I have for you in this one. Thanks for sticking around, and if you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. Don't forget, tell your mom, dad, uncle, aunt, third cousin, really anyone to come check out my channel. And don't forget, we're all in this together. Until next time, have a good one.